For me, I think there's something where they're not going to release his name to the public. I think there's going to be another hiccup when he's charged by the authorities. Think about it. Why isn't no one in West Derby? No one in... Look, you see West Derby, you hear me writing it off, because it's got a lot of drug dealers down there. But you see West Derby, it always has been a very close-knit community. Everyone knows each other. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what's puzzling me is, why hasn't no one in West Derby clicked? Why haven't they clicked? Why hasn't someone said it's in? Why isn't there a house in West Derby that's had the doors kicked off in the last few days and neighbours aren't saying, it must be in? Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Yes, happy-go-lucky. So where's that? You know, we're seeing all sorts of content where he's crawling down the street in his car, but where's the content where he come behind the ambulance? So there's still gaps in what they're saying. I'm not trying to insinuate anything, I'm just saying there's gaps that need to be filled so you get the full context of what really went on. OGG, NOGG, Charlie, Griffin, B. Cockney girl Lisa. So it's up until 12 o'clock and then we'll get more answers than denials. Obviously the press is shocked and not asking the right questions, are they? They're asking questions but not the right ones. He's going to get an array of charges though, people. He's not just coming out of that police station with one attempted murder charge and a driving under the influence. Never. It's just not happening. The licence plate he had was also from a different car, says Steph. That might indicate why it was panic mode. Coming round the corners, just coppers stood in front of him. We can sit here, we can speculate, we can insinuate, assume. We're not hitting the nail on the head, so let's just wait. It's only a few hours. You see him open his door, don't you, on the video, and then close his door again. But what you don't realise is he didn't open his door. So if you go and look at that footage a bit closely, you'll have a lad and another lad that grabbed the handle, and as he reaches forward, door's opened, he's grabbed it, shut it. So when you see his door open and you think he's intending to open his door, he never opened it, he slammed it shut. The kids that grabbed the handle opened the door on him. Let's just see that. There's a load of footage that's not there yet, isn't there? Where did he come from to get in the car? So you need that. Where has he came from? Where was the car situated? These are all details that need to be found out and, you know, put in. It'll be all put in the. You'll get more detail in the court case than what you will on the press conference of the police. And this will be it should be a little 4-month charged trial, 4 months. That's what it should be. Paul is saying exactly, loads of questions need answering. I can't watch that footage, it's disturbing. I haven't watched it myself, I've just seen the little clips where there's no one really getting hit. What's not good though is people on the app using it as a way of picking on people and targeting people. And once again, you've got the stalker acting all concerned because people on TikTok are having an opinion. He's latching onto it like having rats. You understand what I'm saying? Now there's people like him coming on here using that topic as a way of gaining traction or causing negative arguments. Do you understand? So for example, I've had trolls coming in here, probably the stalker, saying mad shit about that problem, wanting me to react in a mad way. So he'll come in on a fake profile called Man U Boy and start chatting shit about that, wanting me to scream about it against the Man U's. That's what he does, that's the type of behaviour. He'll use such a traumatic event for the city of Liverpool as a tool to gain traction in some way. And I believe that's what he's been doing in the last 24 hours. The people that he's victimised in the last 6 months, he's now using as a group to target his new victims. It's horrible what he's doing, isn't he? So if you look at Corey, his car was smashed up a few months ago, his family petrified. If you look at him now, everyone in the stalker's picking him. Corey's the little mouthpiece backing her up, doing a bit of video, a bit of edit, as if he's doing it voluntarily. When in reality, behind the scenes, Corey getting on this with us. Corey's shook but not admitting it. Same with delusional Angie, innit? He had a little go at her, didn't he? And now look at her. Look who she's targeting. Look who they're all targeting on the back of him being concerned about people having an opinion on what happened in the city of Liverpool. Regardless, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Some of the shit that he said about shit is 10 times worse than these opinions about what's gone on in Liverpool. I've only heard one actually, and it's about that off that girl, that Sophie Bailey. Don't even know who she is. That's what I'm speaking about, basically, that. So I'm seeing this delusional Angie, I'm seeing Corey, and I'm seeing the stalker, all going at this woman. Because she had an opinion, and people like the stalker are able to misunderstand it dead easy. Whereas other people can understand there's a bit of a mistake off of there, or there's a bit of a unintentional hiccup off her there. But rats jump on that shit, don't they? Whereas real people can understand it, assess out what's coming out of her mouth next, and say, you know what, you can see she's sincere. The explanation there covers any conflict I had with her comments. These little low-level thinking rats on drugs and all this mad shit, they'll use that, like I said, as a way of gaining traction on the platform. A legitimate way to bully people. You know, I've got a reason for why I can pick on that woman. I've got a reason for why I can pick on that boy. I've got a reason why I can terrorise that family home. Look what they done to me. That's not reason, you rats. That's someone easily offended who turns to violence, intimidation and victimisation. And you all sit there and just let it continue, condone it, and that's weird, isn't it? Yes, Gene T, Adam John. So now he's dragging this Sophie Bailey under the bus, isn't he? Trying to ruin her, trying to cancel her. I wonder what she'd done to him a few weeks before, that he sort of make you believe he let it go. Must have been something else there. He hasn't just pounced on it. He hasn't just come across her. There's been some sort of connection with them beforehand. Yes, Harvey. As I say, it's the first time that I've seen this Sophie Bailey, but I can just see her. I can see happening to her, what happened to DHB, what happened to Corey, and others who never got their houses smashed up but got threatened from behind the scenes. Little weird rat, innit? Corey hates Sophie, says the real Tinkerbell. Does he, yeah? Has he always not liked her? They're just weird. How can you just like sit there and try and act legitimate and treat legitimate people like you're a gangster? It's just weird, mate. Isn't it? But you'd expect mad dynamics from like him, don't you? You can't expect like a smooth running with him. People can't handle him. Keep on telling you. He'll have a mate for 3 months, then they'll disappear. You know that shout, if you want to get to know someone, go and live with them. No one can live with him. Imagine you had a villa in Spain, paid for, and you were on TikTok as a creator. What would you do? My villa will be rammed. Every room will have someone living in it. Other creators or other people connecting with me and that. Do you understand what I mean? You sat there like a pigeon. Gets a little drug dealer coming over every so often, takes a picture of him, but covers his face out. To make you think he's still connected with the underworld. He's been getting abused by Ian Hungy all his life. Go and ask him about Ian Hungy and what they used to do in Bradford with them Bradford drug dealers and them Oldham drug dealers. Ask him, mate. Don't put it on him. He'll block you. You as a long-term follower say, hey Sam, I'm a bit concerned because someone suggested that you were involved in a lot of mad stuff in the early 2000s, mid-2000s. What's this with you and Ian Hungy being connected to these gangsters in Oldham and Rotherham and Bradford? Not Rotherham, Bradford. Ask him that. Just go and ask him. Anyway, Sharon, buzzing last night, did you see his face all made up, says the real Tinkerbell? Whose face? My face? Casio saying no Corey. Why, what happened to Corey? You've got to understand the way I still look at Corey as someone that's being victimised, mate. I know you don't. Yes, Joe. I know you don't, because he's got that little mad little behaviour pattern, hasn't he? But the way I look at it, like, what happened to him a few months ago, and now how he's behaving now, it's a telltale, it's obvious to me, mate. The real Tinkerbell saying Corey is now the bully. That's what happens. The victimised becomes the victimiser. And if you're getting encouraged by the person that done that to you, you know, it's hard ass on him, to be honest with you, mate. See what the likes of Corey and and Dave and other creators like that have become for him now are just safety nets. What do I mean by safety nets? He can get his platforms shut down for being a horrible kid. and his platforms will be bouncing within 48 hours. Why? Because of the safety nets. Dave, tell everyone my new platform. Corey, tell everyone my new platform. Angie, tell everyone my new platform. The three of them have been victimised off him. Is that not clicking? Dave goes on like he weren't said it. You could see it in his eyes when he was with him. He'd been getting psychologically harmed there. Not physically. Picked on psychologically. Ripping into him. Making him feel less of a man. You know what? That's what he was saying to him. We need to make Dave more of a man. Do you know what that is? Don't you see that? Do you know what that does to a man when you're absolutely ripping the manhood away from him like that on public display? Trust me, that psychological harm. That. And when it's consistent, jumping off that one, then ripping something else about him, then jumping off that one, then ripping something else about him. You know what it does? Let me tell you what that does for you, right? You know, I've got a girlfriend and I keep ripping her about her nose. What's wrong with your nose? Eventually she's going to start going, questioning it, and within a year she's in a doctor's room trying to get it fixed for you. You've given her a complex of herself. And when you target someone in that way and keep on going at them, you give them a complex. Complex leads to insecurities. Insecurities lead to self-harm. It's just a legal form of it. So these girls that are getting ripped about the lips being too thin, they get a complex. From the complex, they gain an insecurity. From the insecurity, they're now putting shit in the lips to make the lips bigger. To a grown man who over there to his audience is Big Bad Dave. Doesn't matter if he's a homosexual, he's a man. And he puts himself across as a man. So why have you got a little shit like that completely assassinating the manhood on this big man? He probably didn't understand it was happening. He probably did, definitely did. He just couldn't do full about it. Why? Because Big Licks is sitting there with firearms. Dave's just walked into a gaff first time in his life and Big Licks is sitting there with guns with bullets in them. How the f*** do you expect Dave to react? Yeah, Dave might have been involved in crime here and there, but he's not going in houses with guns. He's not going houses with a parcel sat over there on the table. Because that's what he's done when he's gone in. He's seen a little patch of drugs over there. He's seen firearms. He's seen what he's doing behind the scenes. So when Bully Boy's just taking a piss out of Dave because he's getting him over to take the piss, it's bullying in its purest form. Don't give a f*** Big Dave is. And I don't care how Dave comes back from this. No, I was sweet with it. Everything's fine. Shut up, Dave. I've been observing men like you all my life. I've been on the sidelines watching dynamics like this all my life. I can spot it a mile away. And that's just it. And he's just using them again as safety nets. He doesn't give a fuck these. Do you think if he weren't stuck in that little vicinity, in that little shit villa that he thinks is a big mansion? You can have the biggest mansion in the world if there's no substance in it. It's an empty shell. And that's what he is. He's an empty shell. And the place that he's living in, an empty shell. Isn't it? And he's just using people. If he didn't have to be stuck in that gaff, he wouldn't be entertaining Corey. Trust me. If he was allowed to go in Liverpool, he'd be doing lives in Liverpool every day. He's not allowed. Not because of the police. He's just a bully making a show of Scousers on this app. He's not a Scouser. He doesn't represent Scousers. Never has, never will. So don't get your shit in a twist. You might have all washed up little Scousers, haven't got a clue what they're looking at you. All following. All little dickheads down there. He doesn't represent Liverpoolians. He never has and he never will. I'm not sitting here proclaiming that I represent all Liverpoolians, but I replicate a well better version than a Scouser than he ever will. Ever. And that's it, that. So now he's got a new victim. How long did it take him? I weren't the victim in his little... He was my victim in that thing. He had victim, victim, victim. I had a shout about him bullying. He tried to bully me. Got legged, legged dickhead. And then had a little backing off period, cooled down. Lost a few accounts because he was fuming because he got legged. Come back on. Within a week he's bullying someone else. And now he's on this other woman. He seems to be bullying women. He's doing a lot of verbal bullying. Loads and loads of verbal bullying behind the scenes. Sending messages to nanas and mothers and people that have lost their kids, and he's just nasty the more you think about it. You don't probably get access to what I know about him. And it's not me to try and persuade you to start pulling away from him. I'm just telling you straight how it is. You've got a bully and picks on more women than men. He picks on more defenceless women than he does men that can give it back to him. And when he gets a man that gives it back to him, what does he do? Turns to his criminal connections so he can pay them money to smash windows. This is a shithouse. This isn't no big gangster. This isn't no one that's got substance within. You know, you'll have a kid down there, come and have me a boxing match, you shithouse. Behind the scenes, I'll get your house paint. This is what he's like. Horrible scumbag, bullying, horrible rat. That's what he is, end of. And as always, right through his whole criminal career, he's picking on women more than men. He's picking on women. So, he had this girl years and years and years ago, and the girl fell off, and this lad got with her. Who did he attack? Who would you attack? If you were going to attack anyone in the situation, who would it be? As a man, you're in that dynamics. If you're that far and you were going to do something stupid like that, who would you lay your hands on? Who would you intimidate? Whose car would you get smashed up? Whose dad would you threaten? It'd be him, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be her. So that gives you sort of an idea of where he's at when it comes to being a shithouse. Anyway, obviously, if you're on the ball, you just don't put yourself in them positions. Don't get yourself in them messes, do you? If you're not on the ball, you're ending up in that sort of situation all your life like he is. So use people that are condoning bullying. Use people that are condoning criminal acts upon family units and family homes. All yous that are sitting there enabling this, engaging with it, making it possible to happen by funding it. These are all horrible, weird individuals that are in a mess, and you need to go away and assess what you're looking at and how you're acting in this life of yours. It's hard. Why? Because it's like a rabbit hole. This is my rabbit hole. And the more people that put their head in, the more people that get lost in it. And if they keep on coming into my rabbit hole every night, before you know it, it's blind as down there. They can't see a thing. And this is what's happening with him. And he'll open rabbit holes all over the gaff on different subjects and have people interested in them rabbit holes and lock them in. So I know I keep on coming back to this this poor dog that he found. A dog that was apparently lost and didn't belong nowhere before he turned up. Now that's a rabbit hole. A rabbit hole's not all conspiracy. A rabbit hole can be a deliberate storyline which can pull you in and drag you in. And because there's loads and loads of animal lovers and women who love animals and dogs and this and that, and his target always and most always has been women. He's always affected women through crime. Do you understand what I'm saying? So he knows what heartstrings he's pulling on. So he opens this rabbit hole, gets a couple of thousand women engaging with him. They're sharing him, they're spreading him. Look what he's doing with this dog. But behind the scenes, he knows what this is. This is just another money-making scheme. And what you're looking at is a schemer, a fraud. Money, 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 money. And he doesn't give a who he offends, who he bullies, who he harms, hurts, to get that money scheme. It's what he's like, he tells you. Yes, OB5. And it's not hate, you know. Does it sound like it's hate? I hate all bullies then. You know, he's just another bully. He's one of the worst I've ever seen. And that's right through my prison. Right through my prison. On my estate. Any bully was getting dealt with. Honest. You'd ask anyone, mate. Anyone that knows me properly will tell you straight like that. Yes, Rich. You were a bully, Darren, you were a bully. Who was I bullying? Who was I bullying? I'm bullying that kid with the 9mm in the bag. I'm bullying that drug dealer down there that makes 10 grand a week. I'm bullying that gangbanger there that shot that kid 3 years ago. So when I was in that game, acting that way, the people that I was targeting or reacting to were pieces of shit like myself. I didn't go to my neighbour and terrorise her. I didn't go to the working class lad over there on the road and kick his door in and scream at him because he mentioned me bird. What's he doing? Who's he picking on exactly? Is he picking on fellow gangsters? Is he picking on fellow individuals within his criminal fraternity? Is he? Because he can't. He's not that. He's got to pick on the weak. He's got to pick on the vulnerable. He's got to pick on women. He can't go into Liverpool, start terrorising any 17-year-old gangbanger. He can't. You can't. I could if I was in that life. I don't because I'm not in that life. It's not about me and him. You know, he's just another horrible rat that has damaged young girls, young boys, most of his life. He bullies people, he harms people, he damages people's property who are not criminal, they're not in his way of life. You've got a bullying rat from the criminal underworld who's being legged. He's being legged by kids out the city, right? That underworld gangster who's a big bully who deals drugs, possesses firearms, intimidates people, is now here using the criminality he can't use in the criminal world against legitimate people, legitimate members of the public, regardless of what comes out the mouths. And that's what you're dealing with, a full-blown bully, and he needs some good hiding. That's what he needs, mate. And what he does, he'll drag people into his conflict as much as he can. He can't handle conflict alone. He's got to pull in people to handle the conflict for him. And regardless of who it is, he needs that emotional support when he feels conflict coming his way. And it might even be physical, it might just be verbal, but he's got to pull people in. He's got to drag my man in to have his shout, so now it's spreading. It's not an isolated between you and me. Now you've brought him in, you've brought him in, you've brought him in because you're a shithouse. Even when he's arguing with like normal kids off TikTok, he's bringing the people he's bullied previously in to back him. Where's his real people? When he's going through all this conflict on here, where are his real people? Where are they all? Why is Dave and Corey and Delusional Angie his back up on TikTok? An helmet, mate. He's lucky these hands have never got on him. Honest, he is very, very lucky these hands have not grabbed him. I don't need weapons. I don't need guns for no one. If I get my hands round your throat, it's over for you. You're not getting me off. Anyway, just thought to address, I don't like seeing women being targeted the way that Sophie Bailey is this morning. Having to come out and explain herself. Having to come out on the back of a gangster from Liverpool that's being chased out the city, and now he's smashing people's houses up. This is horrendous. It's horrendous from where I'm sitting. The dynamics there is just diabolical. Pure piss taker in, man, I'm telling you. So let's move on. What are we waiting for, people? How about that? I wonder why the Lionesses, you know, the England's women's football team, I wonder why the goalkeeper has resigned a couple of days before they go into competition. What's gone on there? That doesn't happen, that. Unless something's gone on behind the scenes, mate. Oh, she's sitting on a bench, is she? That's why she's resigned, because she's on the bench. I thought she was the number one keeper. If she was the number one keeper, why isn't she now? Do you understand what I mean? It's very hard for keepers to deteriorate in performance. Like, it's very difficult for a professional goalkeeper to deteriorate in performance. You know, normally you've got the best keeper, but he just can't stop the goals coming in because the players go better than normal. So for this player to just get dropped, and then, well, okay, then we're resigning. What's coming next? What's coming next? If you're a young girl going through all the madness to get into football and then you achieve the highest status of football, you're not just going to resign from it if you've been dropped. You will have this element of good sports person within you because you've developed in there. You won't be a spiteful bastard, no woofs. So there's definitely something else coming on the back of it, isn't there? So let's see what's happening there. The main thing this morning for me is the following 3 hours. It's coming up to 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Within them 3 hours, we will have a bit more clarification on the rat's charges. Hopefully a bit more detail on the only reason I'm saying they've delayed the charge is to safeguard the family. That's why we haven't had a charge sooner. That's a clear-cut case. You don't need no one to confess an interview to that. You don't need fingerprints, you don't need any DNA. That is a clear cut, that's you. We arrested you at the scene, bang, charge, we don't even want to interview you, boom. The reason that hasn't happened is because the safeguard and the family of that man who done the damage in the car in town. Steph saying there's someone up at court. If he gets charged before 12 o'clock, he will be in court for 2 o'clock. He'll be in custody by 5 o'clock tonight. Prison custody. Yes, Leanne. Happy-go-lucky saying people in the area notice people coming and going. That's what I was saying earlier on. There must be so... The news is stating you've got a 53-year-old British-born man from the West Derby area. West Derby is a very, very, very close-knit community. Even if they hate on each other, they all know each other. So, with such an incident, with such a possibility that it could be anything at the moment up in the air, his door would have been getting took off by different types of units that you're used to kicking doors off on your estates. You know, you've probably got a Land Rover, what you'd normally see in Northern Ireland, at the house at one point. You get what I'm saying? So they will have safeguarded the family first and foremost. You got Kite Grunt saying, looking at a 15 stretch. More than that, lads. He's looking at a 15 stretch just off one attempted murder, and that's all they've arrested him on, is one attempted murder. It's not what they're going to end up charging him with. He's got at least 4 attempted murders there. If he hasn't, why? Now the only reason he won't have, this is what's sceptical in their own case here. They've arrested him on 1 attempted murder, right? But they haven't stated whether it was intentional. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you can have an attempted murder that's not intentional. Doesn't make sense. Can you have an attempted murder that's not intentional? Would that not be an attempted manslaughter? So the way there's one charge throws a little thing in there for me. You know, did he go to town to target one person? Was his intention to go there and bonnet that one person? But as I say, that's just speculation. You know, we're not going to know. We should know a lot more by 12 o'clock. They're saying DUI. Okay, drug driving. We all know. Drink and drugs go hand in hand. So, what I thought about that there is, where's the drunk driving charge? Why isn't he being arrested for drink driving? Why is it just drug? And the reason that'll be is because, in my opinion, he'll be refusing a breathalyzer. He'll be refusing a needle so they can confirm through blood whether he's been drinking. He'll be making it difficult for them. And depending on who he is and what group of men in the city he's connected to, will depend on what brief turns up at that police station for him and what advice he's given. And most solicitors these days that go and give your kids advice at the police station, from the get-go, it's the wrong advice. If your kid's getting dragged in for a crime and the brief's going to tell your kid, go no comment. Now, this isn't in the interests of your kid. Do you understand? These solicitors don't want their engagement in this case ending at the police station. So they prolong it, even if they could end it. So even if they could get your son to go and interview and go, say this, they can't do shit, you'll walk out, it's over. They won't. They'll go, say no comment, we'll get you 47.3 bail for 2 months and we'll work out what needs to be done. So now they're getting money for an extra 2 months on something where your kid could have been gone. And because your kid's on bail from the police station for 3 months, when he could have been gone in the first interview, he's being nicked again down there for acting like a dickhead. And guess what? The possibility of bail are 10 times slimmer now. Because he's already on 47.3 bail for this, when he could have been jogged on off the first interview. And this is what happens with people like this idiot. He's probably gone on there and he's got this dick going, no comment, go no comments. Let's see what they've got. Boom, 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 boom. Same with your Cashmans and all this. The advice they should be getting given is your bang to rights, go guilty. The advice they get given is, I think there's a bit of hope here. I think we can get, what have you got to lose? Let's go for it. This is a barrister saying it to a murderer that's blatantly banged rights. So for example, me, I'm on a conspiracy to murder charge. My barrister's telling me from the get-go, you're getting a 30-year recommendation or a 35 recommendation, mandatory life sentence. We've got to go not guilty, you've got nothing to lose. Okay, not guilty. After going not guilty and going through a 28-week trial and getting an hung jury, it's now been established that I'm under the old law. And a 30 rec weren't even coming into the judge's mind at that point. So now, if he would have given me the correct advice at the first trial and went, look, bam, 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 go guilty to this offence, they can give you the 18 years, reduced, you'll do a 12, you'll get 18 years as a starting point, you go guilty, you'll get a third off, but you'll bring you down to a 13 or a 12. You'll do 3/3 of that. So I would have done 8 years. If I would have been given the correct advice, I would have been given 8 years. The family of the deceased in my case wouldn't have had to go through 2.5 years of turmoil, 3 trials. Do you understand what I'm saying? And they do it and prolong it just so they can get the dough. They'll wait for the justice at the end of it. Do you get what I'm saying? They'll keep the kids on remand for a year, 18 months if they got to. They're not asked. They don't give a fuck. Doesn't matter if duty solicitor. Get your own. It doesn't matter if you're waiting 2-3 hours in the cell. Get your own. So you see all these kids that have gone in on the protests and been nicked for the tweets and riots and shit, and they've gone into interview. Instead of them saying, give an explanation, they've been told, go no comment, and they've been charged anyway. So they haven't been able to say, they haven't been able to put a story across which will make the feds go away and do a little bit more investigation. Because that's what they will have had to do. The fact you've got no comment, they've just used the video evidence and bang, charged. That's enough for the CPS to charge you. We'll prove what we're saying in court. But if you're in an interview and you say, well, no, I was there, but I just come from that shop there, go and check that video camera. Well, then they would have to go away, get that video camera and go, well, yeah, he's just come out the shop, he weren't really a part of this. But you'd get out the police station. The fact that they got told, go non-comment, they were all charged up instantly when they've gone into court. But why didn't you say that in interview? Well, why didn't you say that in interview? Well, why did you go no comment in interview? Why didn't you give this explanation there and then? Do you get what I'm saying? So a brief's telling you in interview to go no comment. You tell that brief in interview You want to do a prepared statement. So when you're going into the interview, instead of sitting there like a dickhead, basically saying I'm guilty, you do an explanation in a prepared statement. So if a group of yous have been arrested for whatever yous have done, yous all get pulled into the station. Your brief comes, you're saying go no comments. But you've done wrong. You've done nothing wrong. Why have you got to go no comment, solicitor? It's just better for everyone else involved in the case. Everyone else in the case. I was there. I'm not going to mention it. But I've done nothing wrong. I want to say something. I want to do a prepared statement. In that prepared statement, as soon as the interview starts, name, date of birth, blah, blah, blah. We'd like to ask you a few questions. Well, I'd like to answer that now in a prepared statement. And after I've read this statement, I'm not saying anything else in this interview. So it cuts all the bullshit out as well, where they're trying to get you to talk, where they're trying to da-da-da-da. It just stops it dead because they're not allowed to bar to you once you've made this prepared statement. So instead of having a 20-hour interview, it's done in 40 minutes because you've done a prepared statement. And you just tell them in that, I was at the scene, I never seen who implemented this or I never seen this. It was absolutely nothing to do with me. Nothing. When you get to court, if it gets to court, at least you've got an explanation. At least when you've gone into the interview and said, nothing to do with me, you haven't gone in and gone no comment. And what you need to understand with the dynamics of that, people, that no comment shout when you go into court and you've said no comment. What they've done, what the media have done over the last 15, 18 years, just say 20 years, what the media have done and all documentaries have done about ongoing cases, about court cases, about crime, all that shit, what they've always overemphasised on is the fact that these people go no comment. And everything you see, you'll see that they overemphasise the fact that these people always use no comment and they're found guilty at court. And every sort of thing that you see in the last 10, 15 years to do with cases, ongoing court cases, every one of them, they will have overemphasised, look, they're going not guilty, and then they're going into court, like the Cashman cases and all these big high profile, look, not guilty. Look, not guilty, found guilty. So when you've got loads of juries up and down the country that are picked off your fold, who've been watching programmes for the last 20 years and getting caught up in real crime programmes, and they're watching these documentaries where that prisoner's going, no comment, no comment. The minute you step into any courtroom with a jury and you're using no comment in the process, they're looking at you in guilt instantly. Instantly. So don't go no comment because it's more of a hindrance, especially when you've done fall wrong. The kid that stabbed that kid up and murdered him, have your shout in the interview. Don't let his solicitor tell you, shh. It's not snitching, so don't say it is. You were with some kid in your group. The kid's always been a flirt. The kid's always been a loose things. Now he's murdered some kid and you're sat in a cell because of him. Don't waste your life. Don't go and sit in there for a 20 on the basis of I'm snitching. That's not snitching. If you're there in town and one of them dickheads in your group that you don't like anyway has just murdered someone, and now you sat there in a cell looking 20, have your shout. I was there. I was in attendance. I didn't see the kid get stabbed. I seen the aftermath. It was nothing to do with me. I didn't know there was a knife in the group. I didn't know who done that. And that's it. It's not snitching. But when you get to court, all the others have got no comment. You've been honest. And honesty goes a long, long way. Why? Because once they can't disprove it, you're gone. You're out of it. Big T Tammy. And there's a lot of kids who are sat in prison now under joint enterprise laws, and the majority of them lads who are sat in sentences, some of them been battling for years to get the convictions overturned. The